And now you're probably waiting for... Fuck it.
Those just now joining us, please make your way closer to the pit. Let's fill in the front. Again, for those just now making your way to the amphitheater, let's fill in those seats toward the front. We'll be beginning momentarily. Thank you so much.
don't stop. Waiting for the sound of the big ass drop. Always in the club and girls are next. Drinking margarita up in your flex. Keep it coming, girl, just don't stop. Waiting for the sound of the big ass drop. Always in the club and girls are next. Drinking margarita up in your flex. Keep it coming, girl, just don't stop. 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 Just don't stop. Just don't stop. Just don't stop. Just don't stop.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give a warm welcome to our city manager of Peachtree City, Mr. Bob Curnow.
Good morning, Peachtree City. How's everybody doing today? Come on, we can do better than that. How's everybody doing today? All right. I have my superheroes over here, and I have some superheroes over here, so let's give an applause for our superheroes here today. Thank you. I have more superheroes in the back, but you guys need to move up to the front. If you're sitting in the back, I'm going to pick on you, so just so you know, I have a lot of questions in my PowerPoint presentation of about 90 slides, so I'm going to have a lot of questions for everybody. I just want to take a quick opportunity to thank you all for being here. I want to say what a fantastic day. I called ahead and had the weather set perfectly for this event, and it's just been, an amazing opportunity to be here at the Fred. It's so cool to have our own venue where we can bring in and do some employee appreciation. So, thank you all for being here. I want to take a special pause for a second and thank those who aren't here today, who are out there keeping the city safe and operational. We want to make sure that we recognize those folks that are on the front lines doing that. But I also want to take a second to recognize somebody who's no longer with us. We had some pretty bad news over last week. We had the passing of our HR director, Elise Brown. She was very instrumental to this organization. She formed my whole process going through the interviews. I know she's had an indelible mark on a lot of people here as far as bringing them into the organization and getting everybody up to speed. And she's just going to be terribly missed. We have services for her coming up. There's going to be some information coming out. But I do want to take a second to thank all of the work and effort that she has done for the HR organization and for the city. So thank you for that. For those of you who haven't had the opportunity to meet me, as the announcement said, I'm Bob Curnow. I'm your city manager. I've been here since January. And even though I haven't had an opportunity to make it around to say hi to everybody, I still want to come out and meet you and talk to you and get to your departments. I've had some really good conversations with a lot of good people, and it's just been overwhelming, the opportunity to be here and the welcoming that I receive from everybody. So again, just thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of that, and I want to continue to do good things for the city. I apologize, I have flipped through my cheat notes here. So I want to start off by saying a couple of things just in general to what got me into the city manager's office. So, from a leadership perspective, I always have a philosophy that anybody in the organization can be a leader. There's a difference between management and leadership. And I think if you embrace that, and that's something that I've done over my entire career, is talk about, what leadership means to me and what leadership should mean to everybody. And you kind of drive that through the culture of an organization. We came up with a pretty cool vision here over some really interesting 2 days with city council and city management, and city manager's office and department directors. And we said, what defines Peachtree City? What does Peachtree City mean to us? And as we're working through that entire process, and boy, it took 2 days to come up with something that was really, meaningful to us. We went back and looked at some history, and that history said, what Peachtree City was back in, like the 80s when it was being formed. And we said, how do we re-envision that? How do we, make Peachtree City, the best it can possibly be? And we came up with this, uncompromised excellence. So that, from a vision perspective, those are pretty lofty words. That means, a lot of things to a lot of different people. But that just means that, ultimately, from an uncompromised excellence perspective, we do the best that we can every day, and we take care of each other as well. That's what that means to me. So getting to the city manager's office, I had a pretty unique role. For a lot of you that may or may not understand, I haven't had that conversation with a few people. Some I've had, some I haven't. I started off back in government in 1989 when I was 3 years old. I know, it's kind of crazy going back. I kind of just worked my way in. I was in public works utilities for a significant part of my career. Green, fresh out of school, no idea what I wanted to do, no idea where I wanted to go. And then I said, you know what, let me just take a look and see what this job was going to be like. And as most people would tell you in careers early on, you're sitting there thinking, am I going to be here for 2 years or 3 years? That worked into an 18-year career at one location. I worked for Broward County Utilities. I started off as a maintenance worker. I started off checking lift stations for a living. Does anybody know what a lift station is? That's some serious stuff. So like I said, having recently graduated at that time, coming out of school, you know, I had a couple of years worth of retail experience. I had absolutely no idea what to expect, just no clue whatsoever what not only government life was going to be like, but what I was going to expect getting into that situation, driving around, checking these lift stations. So I'm thinking to myself, hey, this is an opportunity. Let me see what I can do with it and how I can evolve. But like I said, I didn't get to where I am in the city manager's office by myself, and I would be fooling you all to say that I can continue to do the job that I do here as the city manager representing you without all of the effort of everybody sitting here today. So that is just, you know, been my philosophy over my career, is that we are one team, one mission. You see me say that in our emails on Friday when I send it out there, and I truly believe that. So after working as a maintenance worker for a couple of years, I finally got into a position where I was a utilities mechanic. So I've turned in wrenches for a living, 18, 19 years old. Really funny story. As I was leveraging some of that, I started saying, you know, it's interesting working on these things and, you know, transmission lines out in the field and pumps and, you know, water treatment, and I got to experience all those things. I wasn't really taking that all in. I was young. I had no idea what I was involved with. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I was involved in all of these different processes, all these very important processes, and I was meeting people and building relationships. And that's where that learning aspect for me came in, is working with a lot of people. And then as I sit here now telling you from a city manager perspective, I've been in the trenches. I've worked in the sewer system. I literally was there. I know what it's like. So I'm able to leverage that as far as communication perspective, and I did that throughout my career when I had these opportunities to meet and work with different people, especially when I got into IT. After about 25 years, I'm probably 147 years old at this point, but I spent quite a bit of my career in IT working on projects, and just that development of those relationships and that understanding of how government works and how those different entities work, you know, kind of led me into this. I spent 8 years of that career in IT working in law enforcement environment. I wasn't a cop, so don't let the short hair fool you. But at the end of the day, I spent a lot of time deploying a lot of technological advancements and a lot of technology in law enforcement and fire service, actually, when it came to, you know, implementing, you know, the mobile data terminals and the 911 radio systems and all of that stuff. So again, just having these little bits and chunks and nuances in my life, you know, kind of helped me get to the point where I'm at when I sit in front of an interview and I see the mayor's here, and I sat in front of the interview and, you know, had a good conversation with her. And I think it just started to come out like, what have you done? What have you worked on? Tell me about those experiences. And I would have had none of those experiences if I didn't carry that through my career, you know, as you know, as a maintenance worker all the way up to the city manager's office. So, you know, it's one of those stories of growing and taking advantage of those opportunities. So I'm going to take you back for a second to what that 20-year-old Bob looked like. So again, just a couple years out of school, a couple years in a position of maintenance worker. I'm cruising around with my friends in my 1978 Formula Firebird with that pull-out Alpine stereo. And we're cruising around. Listen, my friend Steven's in the back seat. He pulled back seat duty. He reaches down on the floor next to the hole that went into the ground, and he pulls out a gas mask. A gas mask. And he's like, what in the world are you doing with a gas mask? And I said, well, listen, I have a very dangerous job. I work for the government. I tried to play it all out. You know, you're 20 years old and just, you know, lean back cruising. And he's like, what do you do? And I started explaining to him. I said, listen, I got this job, the government. I had no idea what I was expecting. I said, but it's pretty fascinating. Send me all this training. I didn't tell him anything about what a lift station was. I said, so yeah, they've entrusted me to work in some really dangerous conditions. And he's like, wow, that's pretty cool. He said, how do I get involved? And I said, well, just apply, and you too could be like me, working for the government, sliding around in a 78 Firebird. So what I learned from that, flash forward many, many years, Stephen and I are best friends to this day. We kind of followed each other along through our careers, is what I like to call that span of influence. And I think I mentioned this a little bit earlier, is that span of influence not necessarily driven from the position or the title that you have in an organization, but it's that influence that you have over others to inspire them and help them. And that goes back to that conversation about being a leader. Anybody in sitting here now, whether you feel you're significant, insignificant as far as your position is concerned, a management position, a non-management position, it doesn't matter. You can be a leader in your area. And you, maybe unbeknownst to you, are influencing other people who are looking at you and watching you, which is what Stephen was doing with me at that time. He was watching what I was doing. Now, he was a good friend of mine, but he was influenced by what I was saying because I told him I had this cool government gig, and he wanted to do that too. A couple years go by, Stephen and I are working side by side, checking lift stations. Every once in a while, he'd give me that dirty look, like, you never told me we'd be dealing with this stuff. I came across this idea. Computers were taking off. Technology was, really ramping up in the world. This was before Y2K. Anybody remember that? Y2K? Yeah. So anybody? Not that many people old enough to remember Y2K. So I get wind of this. Internet wasn't really a huge thing. That there's a certification you can get if you're a technical person that's very revered in the world. It's called the Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer. And I said, all you have to do is pass 6 measly exams, and you too can get this very coveted Microsoft title, which most IT people would look up to you and think, oh my God, you're like some sort of a god or something if you have this. And at the time it was being pronounced that this position, if you had this title, would net you about $58,000 a year. And here we're making like $16,500 a year back then. I'm thinking, wow, that's huge. Are you kidding me? Imagine what I can do with my Firebird. So we go through this process. I convince Stephen, ultimately realize that I've influenced Stephen, and we get this certification. We're 2 utility mechanics working in an organization that has never spent a day in IT. We never worked in a data center. We never worked answering help desk calls. We never worked anything. But 2 of us had the highest technical certification that you can possibly imagine in the day from an IT perspective. What did that do for us? That meant that when those IT positions became available and 2 utility mechanics applied for those positions, guess who got them? We did. And in the entire organization, Broward County at the time had about 7,500 employees. In the entire organization, there were several hundred people in IT. Not one of those other people had that certification. Not one of them. And it's like, how is that possible? And I started thinking, interesting. How do you sit there in a position and not want to be better or excel or, and maybe they did and maybe they didn't. But at the end of the day, again, it goes back to that level and that span of influence that you have on other people. People watch you and people think and see what you're doing, and you have some control over that. You can have a very small span of influence or a very large one. It just depends on what you want to do. So in those IT positions, like I said, I spent many, many years after that working, developing my skills, building relationships. And I get this crazy city manager that came in from Sugar Land, Texas. And I was the IT director in the city of Coral Springs. And he came up to me and he goes, hey, Bob, how you doing? I said, good. He says, I've been watching you and the way you talk in meetings. And he says, so this was him trying to trick me to do more work and not get a raise. That's really what it was. At the end of the day, that's how it worked. So he said, hey, I'd like you to come up to the city manager's office and help me run some special projects for the city. And I'm like, okay. I said, but you do realize that all the projects I've done have been IT? He goes, yeah, no problem. So the first project he handed me was an $80 million charter school project, construction project. And I'm like, $80 million construction project? We built some fire stations. We did some other things like that. And that was really my segue into that. I was IT director / assistant city manager at the time. And then he finally changed my title to be in the city manager's office. And guess who was right behind me? Stephen. And what did Steven get? He got promoted to the IT director position. He's there to that day because the same city manager, our span of influence, had that same influence on him. And he saw that, and he was prepared for that because Steven did exactly like I did and prepared himself for all of those things that he needed to do to be in that position to take advantage of it. The best compliment that I've ever gotten, and it wasn't actually a compliment, but it was a compliment nonetheless, was about 3 months ago. Steven called me, so we keep in touch quite a bit, and he said to me, "Hey, Bob, I just want you to know that, remember when we did Toastmasters? Anybody done Toastmasters? You know, it's like this, teaching how to say, to speak fluently and have good conversations with people, and not to say, or, and they ding you with a bell every time you do it." He said, "Remember when we did that?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Come back into it again." I'm like, "That's great, Steven, I'm proud of you." And he says, "I just want you to know that my first speech was about us driving in that 1978 Formula Firebird of yours." He said, "And I brought people almost to tears with that conversation about how impactful that was for him in his career and how that moved him forward." And it was just, I was speechless for a minute. And he's actually, "Hey, are you still on the phone?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm still here." But I'm like, wow, it's just blown away that somebody would have that thought. And I had no idea that it influenced him the way that it influenced him, but it did. Right? So again, Steve and I are friends, and sometimes when you're friends with somebody, you don't really see those obvious signs, but then that outward, connection sign of where he said, "Man, you have really changed my life. You have changed my life." And I'm thinking, what did I do? I forced you to get a job working on lift stations, and I forced you to take some crazy Microsoft exams and be an IT person. And no, what I did is I've expanded his span of influence. His own eyes were opened. And that's really what leadership is all about. So if I could ever stress anything as far as leadership is today, I can tell you that it is about creating that culture, and that culture is what I want to create here in the city because we have that talent here in the city. You are all extremely talented at the jobs that you have. We are very fortunate to work in a city that appreciates us, and I am very fortunate to work with you all because I appreciate and understand all of the things that you do to keep this organization operational. I understand those mechanisms. So I'd like to call out a few things. How many people remember the algae bloom and closing the lake? Anybody? I know the mayor does because she was the one getting all the flack. But at the end of the day, what did we do? It was a concert of efforts. I needed to have information. I got the information. We needed to do something. And we rallied together, and we were able to make that situation, a rough situation or a bad situation, palatable until we could get the lake open again. We've won life-saving awards. We've won excellent and emergency cardiac care awards. We've had Mothers Against Drunk Driving give us awards for the work that PD has done in that effort. We've had, it's on here someplace, I don't want to skip it. But we've won Officer of the Year awards. We've won all different kinds of things. We've won a couple of Telly awards for our communication and our outreach capabilities. These are huge accolades, huge accolades. And when you start thinking about that span of influence at the city level has influenced other cities. And I can tell you, speaking to the other city managers in Fayette County, they all come to me and they're like, "Dude, you need to stop. Like, you need to stop." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Well, you're taking care of your employees, and you're making sure that their market rates are right with their salaries, and you're doing it." And so I'm in so facto, we've kind of had unintended consequences of other cities, and other employees at other cities actually take advantage of raises because those other cities have to keep up with us now, right? They have to keep up with us, and that's what makes us amazing. I love to be that person who's standing here going, "That's right, I'm at the front of the line. If you want to get on board, with what Peachtree City's doing, let's do it. Get online. Well, I'll figure it out." That span of influence. I'll give you another one. We did the budget presentation. And where's Paul? Paul? We had a good conversation about this. I threw a curveball at Paul. I apologized to Paul later. He's probably still mad at me, but we're still friends. We go to Indian food, once a week, at least for lunch. But at the end of the day, we put together a presentation that was meaningful and impactful, and it included a lot of things, and we said a lot of things, and I said a lot of things, and it wasn't to the fact that I was trying to steer the city in one way or another, but just point out some of the obvious things that we need to work on. And not once did I say that any of these things were insurmountable for a task or a staff of the nature that we have in the city, because it's not. We can do these things. We just need to be systematic about it. But nonetheless, I threw a curveball, and we reacted and responded to that curveball. Life is a curveball. Life has always been a curveball for me. So you either step up to the plate and try and take a swing at it, and if you miss, that's fine, but at the end of the day, that curveball, you're going to take a shot at it, and you're going to knock it out of the park, and that's what we did. And it's just a matter of seeing those opportunities and taking advantage of those opportunities to knock that out of the park when you can. And that's how I want to position the city, and that's my philosophy, again, from positioning the city that way. Here's another example, and then I'm going to get out of your way for at least a minute or two. They told me I had 45 minutes, by the way. I said, no, I don't have 45. Am I doing good, at least, on time? Or so anyway, just the last thing, she said no. She's like, you got to get off. So uncompromised excellence, I started talking about that. I just want to give you an example of how this happened just this week. I was copied on an email from one of our officers on traffic stop. And that officer was on traffic stop, and evidently what happened is the person that was pulled over for whatever happened didn't pull off the road safely. And the officer was trying to deal with scene safety at the time. It can be challenging, right? You don't want to be in the middle of traffic. You don't want to stop traffic. You don't want to get hit by a car. Our public works crew pulled up behind them and set out some traffic mitigation without even being asked. They created a safe scene for that whole situation to go down wherever it went down, but nonetheless, they, without being asked, without being, anything, spontaneity, they just showed up and they said, look, this is an unsafe situation. Let me help people out. And then they did what they did. That is this. That is the epitome of uncompromised excellence. So, yes, I see applause. Can I get an applause for that? So, I'd like to say let's just keep that up, keep that momentum going forward. We have a pretty cool schedule ahead of you. I hope I didn't take up too much time, but I know I did. But we have a pretty cool schedule ahead of you today, so I hope you take advantage of that. And I'm going to come back out at the end and have a little bit more discussion with everybody. But right now, what I'd love to do is introduce two amazing employees who you may or may not know. But I'd like to introduce Ronald from Public Works and Bria from Finance, who are going to carry that on. So please welcome.
You can't even get in. Leg out. Look at me now. Look at me now.
Good morning. How are y'all doing?
Good morning, everybody. Hello.
Oh.
Well, good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to the Vision and Values Team Building event here at the Fred. This is Bree and I'm Ronald, as explained earlier. Oh, do me a quick little favor. Look under your chairs and see, can you find a Manti under your chair?
You know, like Manny the Manatee, that famous mailbox? And if you have one, wave him through the air. Let's see it.
It'll be in the pit. It's not up there. Y'all good up there.
Okay, Ashley, stand up. Let's see it. Oh, Josh has an award. Okay, I know. Oh, thank you, Dave. And anybody else have one?
Oh, come
stand
on
up,
stage.
stand up.
Come on, Dave. Come on, Patowski. Come on. If you have them, come on.
If you
We
have
need at
one,
least
come
10
on
of
up
you.
and join us.
Oh, Jay Millie, what's going on, player?
Okay, I see two at my table, so somebody better get up here and join me. No, you don't get to go home. Yay, Ward!
We got one more
Mother,
coming.
don't have a, no, I don't have a check. Well, just wait. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, I think we're gonna need about 4 more, wait. Mother, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Can you count, Bree?
All right, I think we need about 4 more people. Who else wants to volunteer? Come on up, come on up.
Be volunteer or be voluntoed? Which one?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We need 2 more people,
7,
please.
8.
2 more.
2 more. Can we get 2 more volunteers?
No, we
All
got
right,
2 more.
Dustin and Stacy. All right, well, first let's find out who these people are.
Cool. Let's start over here. You want to tell us your name and your department and what you do?
Dave Borkowski, city engineer, work for engineering services. We have one person.
Yay, Dave.
Kim Lindsay, Recreation and Special Events Assistant, Recreation Assistant. Just passed my 2-year anniversary yesterday.
Oh, congratulations.
I'm Jeff Felmet. I'm with the fire department.
All right.
Jonathan Miller, Public Works Director.
Ward Hannon, Finance.
Sharice Cadet, Library. Madhuri Adapala, GIS.
David McDaniel, Engineering Services.
I'm Dustin Farron. I'm the Accounting Manager in Finance.
Stacy Collins, Deputy City Clerk, Jasmine's right hand.
Lovely group of people. So we are going to play, well, a new twist on an old classic. Do you want to tell them what we're going to do?
Yes, we're playing musical chairs with a little twist. Yes. So if you don't end up getting a chair, you have an opportunity to take somebody else. We'll give you a shot at a trivia question, and if you get it right, you can kick anybody out. If I was you, I would go for the smartest person. So let the games begin. Find your seat, please.
Let's see. Well, I guess. No, I think we gotta.
I just want to make sure they had 9 chairs up here. I didn't count. So.
Okay, well, let's hop up and get them.
Right. Can you please stand up and let's start the game, please?
We just had to make sure the chairs
I
worked.
had to make sure they had 9 chairs, Jay Miller.
All right. All right, now you get to going.
This way.
Yeah. Let's not be fast, Dustin. It didn't stop. Woo! Dave, Dustin, get a chair, get a chair. All right, Mr. Farron, come over here and see if you can answer a trivia question.
What kind of trivia question?
We got all kinds.
Trivia. We got music, we got sports. Well, we don't have music, I lied, my bad. First question. What's the capital of Finland?
Man.
You can do this.
I don't know. Iceland.
Thank you for participating. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank
Good
you.
try,
Thank you.
good try.
Thank you. You want to tell them what it is?
Oh, the correct answer was Helsinki. Helsinki.
All right, time for round 2, please.
Show us your moves. Did I mention there is a prize for the winner? Mr. McDaniel.
How you doing, Dave? How you doing? Come on now. You might get somebody else if you can figure this out.
All right, David, if all of the states were placed in alphabetical order, what would be the first and the last? No, but like the actual state.
States?
Yeah,
Oh,
what would
okay.
be the first state and what would be the last state? First end of the alphabet and
Alabama, the first state.
correct. So what would be the last state going alphabetically?
Rhode Island?
No, it would actually be Wyoming.
Oh, thank you for participating. Thank you so much. You did good. You made it past the last guy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Just one day out of life. It would be.
Well, that was interesting.
You're supposed to respond to the injury, not cause the injury.
Way to share. Way to share.
But, Ms. Stacy, your question. What does SPF in sunscreen stands for?
SPF? I knew the other 2 answers.
Do you need to phone a friend?
Yeah, I need to phone a friend.
I ain't got a phone up here.
Solar, sun protection, factor.
What was that again?
Sun protection factor.
You are correct. So, Miss Stacy, you get to pick anyone you want. Kick them out of their chair. Wow. Man, of all people. I'm sorry, Mr. Fellman.
You don't get a question. No, I'm sorry. Ain't nobody sat down yet.
Oh, that's okay. We got a question for you. So, what year did Facebook first launch?
Oh, I don't know. 2001.
Oh, so close. It's 2004.
Good try.
Thank you so much for participating. Thank you.
She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night to she's so fine. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky.
Whoa!
How you doing, Kimberly? It's good to see you again. You want an easy question or a hard question? Easy. Well, I'm just going to go down the list. Who is the all-time leading NBA scorer? Can you speak up, please? Can you speak up?
Michael Jordan. I don't.
Can y'all hear her?
I don't know sports. Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. That's your final answer? Please go find your seat, ma'am. The correct answer is LeBron James.
I don't like basketball.
Good answer, good answer. Where are you going, Margaret?
Hey, just remember, get my money right. I don't care about his, just get mine right.
I have the question for you, Ward. Who is the author of Jurassic Park?
Oh, Michael Crichton.
Indeed. You go kick somebody out of their chair. Had a feeling that was coming. Mr. Borkowski, that's cheating. Can you please put the chair down? You might get the question right.
Should have kept the chair, I would have. So, your question. Which planet in the Milky Way is the hottest? The hottest.
Mercury.
I'm so sorry, it is Venus. It is Venus, I'm so sorry.
For your convenience, the restrooms are up that way.
I can't wait till I get you on the floor, good looking. Hey, going hot, so hot, just like an oven. And ow.
This one? All right, Madhuri, you got this. Okay. This is on every bottle of Heinz ketchup. What year was Heinz established?
Tell me. Okay, 1957.
I'm so sorry, it's 1869.
Oh. All right, for the win.
Leave your cares behind.
Easy question.
Easy question.
Okay.
Just get it right. No pressure. Yeah, no pressure.
Miss Stacy, which Disney movie has the most sequels? No pressure, just an answer.
What was that?
You got 5 seconds on the clock.
Stop. Lady and the Tramp. I don't know.
Lady and the Tramp. They're on the go. All right, go have a seat, Miss Stacy. It is Toy Story. They have 4 movies.
Sorry. Congratulations, Ward. Ward.
What do I win?
I
We
will say
have a
2 tickets
lovely
to Paradise, but
prize
there's
for you
a nice
in
bag
there.
for you.
It is a surprise prize.
Can I open it?
Yes, you may.
Tell everybody what you want, because I have no idea either. I'm curious.
A cup.
Woo! Wait, there's something else.
And a box.
Woo! Is this a charger situation?
Yeah, it's a power bank.
All right.
Can I get that from you? All right, thank you so much for participating.
Driving the jet.
All right, we just want to thank everybody for participating in the musical chairs. Congratulations to Mr. Ward for winning. Stacy, you were so close. 2 questions.
Yes, thank you all for participating. And next up is our Assistant City Manager, Mr. Justin Strickland.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses. Yes. I think it's sometimes a jungle to be and working in Peachtree City, if you know that song. So I typed out what I was going to say, kind of like I did at Christmas. So I may be looking down at my cards a good bit because I just want to make sure I say what I'm going to say. So don't fault me if I'm looking down. I'll try to do both. I'm going to start off with a question. What is a vision? Why state it? So at our retreat, we kind of decided, and it was told to us by our facilitator, that a vision should be a statement of why you exist and where you're going. It should be 5 words or less, and that's so everybody can understand it and remember it. All of us should be able to say it no matter what. It shouldn't be some long paragraph about why we exist, what we're doing. It should be a couple of words about why we exist and where we're going. So back in March, we had our 2-day retreat. Bob told you all about that. During our retreat, self-examination and teamwork became the ingredients from which this vision emerged. We delved deep into our ambitions, both personal and for our organization. We spent the majority of the first day reflecting about ourselves and our community. Like we had to do a lot of exercises writing down about what our vision for ourselves was, kind of what our goals for the community were, what our goals for ourselves were, both personally and professionally. So when we did our personal vision, so before we got to kind of formulating the vision of the city itself, we had to define what our personal vision for ourselves were. So my personal vision was inspired by Coach Kirby Smart, Go Dogs. If you remember back in Georgia's first national championship year when they beat Clemson in the first game, in his post-game interview, he said, "You're either elite or you're not." So that's kind of stuck with me ever since I heard him say those words. So for my vision statement for myself during this exercise, I just came up with elite, no compromises for my personal statement. It wasn't merely an adaptation of Coach Smart's statement. It's a reflection of my personal philosophy, my ethos, my unwavering commitment to excellence in every endeavor. I want to be the best in everything I do, so I leave no doubts that I could have tried harder. So we got into after the personal vision statements, we got into small groups and we talked about, we all shared our own vision statements with each other, and then we wanted to talk about what could the city's vision be. So I know at the beginning we did this for hours. Like the mayor knows, I think a lot of the directors were there. We were on this vision statement for 2-3 hours. We went back and forth, and we were really honing in on the pass system because of our pass. Like I don't know if you guys know, but we're known for our pass system. So we wanted to do some kind of vision that had something with paths in it, but we just really got nowhere. Like it never really stuck. Like people came up with different ideas. Not everybody in the room was settled on an idea. So the moderator finally kind of said maybe we need to kind of veer away from the path idea because nothing's really sticking, because we had spent, again, 2 to 3 hours talking about this. So I began writing down things on a piece of paper while everybody was still talking. And one of the things that had kind of stuck but never really became the end-all be-all was your path to ultimate service. So I kind of was like, well, ultimate service sounds good, so what could I kind of do with that? So I wrote ultimate service, and then I had my personal vision statement of no compromises. So I wrote ultimate service, uncompromised excellence, because I wanted to do some alliteration with the U's and make it sound fancy. So I thought it sounded good, so I just kind of said it out loud, and everybody kind of seemed to jive with it, like it kind of seemed to work. But it was decided by the group, let's take out the ultimate service and just make it uncompromised excellence. Because I agree with that. I think that we don't need the ultimate service. That kind of summarizes everything in the 2 words, uncompromised excellence. So later in the retreat, we all went around and defined what uncompromised excellence meant to each of us. Every single definition that we had was different, and that's okay. Like we as a city are not going to define what uncompromised excellence means. We don't want to have a whole big definition behind it. We want you in your head to look at this and figure out what that means for you as you work here. I will tell you what it means to me. Doesn't have to mean this to you, but what it means to me is an unyielding promise that every action, every decision, every service we provide will be the best. It's about setting the bar high and then striving to surpass it, never settling and always pushing boundaries. So after we did the vision, we moved on to our core values, which after me, we're going to have a brief intermission. The groups are going to come up and do skits based on all of the core values that we have, and we ended up retaining our paths. So we didn't do it in the vision, but we ended up coming up with it in our core values, which is the PATHSS, the paths. They stand for professionalism, accountability, teamwork, honesty, sustainability, and safety. They're not just words, they're guiding principles, and they're kind of the bedrock on which that vision stands. So then, to breathe these values into life, we established a communication agreement with 12 statements that we all agreed upon. And I'm going to read them out, so stick with me. All right, and I'm going to do the words or the numbers so we know. 1, maintain dignity, respect, and confidentiality. 2, be optimistic, open-minded, innovative, and flexible. 3, praise and recognize achievements in genuine, simple ways. 4, keep healthy humor alive, like we just saw up here, and maintain a professional environment. 5, do what is ethical regardless of the consequences. 6, balance face-to-face communication with written communication. 7, be dedicated to excellence in our performance, fulfill our responsibilities, and get it done. 8, deliver excellent customer service to one another and those who we serve outside the department. 9, be supportive of one another and back each other up. 10, address conflict before it escalates, contacting the other party directly rather than working around him, her, or them. 11, publicly one. That means we support each other. 12, learn, teach. If you don't know it, learn it. If you do know it, teach it. I want a Peachtree City that's recognized not just for our path, but for its unparalleled commitment to excellence. A city where every department, every individual is driven by the desire to be the best. From our parks to our infrastructure, from our GIS systems to our work processes, I envision a city that sets benchmarks in every field. A city where the response times are swift, the environment is safe, and the services are unparalleled. I want people from other cities, other states to look at us and wonder, how does Peachtree City achieve this? I want them to see our dedication, our drive, our commitment to uncompromised excellence. But as we talk about excellence, about competition, about setting benchmarks, there's another element equally crucial, and that's leadership. Leadership isn't about a title. It's not about a badge or a designation. It's about influence. It's about impact. It's about inspiring those around you, guiding them, mentoring them, and leading by example. Leadership is a mantle that can be donned by anyone, irrespective of their role, rank, or tenure. It's about embodying the principles of communication, integrity, and accountability. It's about setting the bar and then consistently raising it. So in Coach Smart's words, there's no middle ground. You're either elite or you're not. As we move forward, I urge each one of you to internalize and compromise excellence. Let it be the beacon that guides your actions, your decisions, and your aspirations. I'm going to hold myself to that standard every day, and I expect the same from each of you. So let's together turn Peachtree City into a city of uncompromised excellence. And so with that, those are my words. So now we're going to take a quick break for anyone that needs to go to the restroom or get water. After the break, the departments are going to come up and do their skits, and it'll be fun. So they're going to play some music, take a quick break, and then those skits will be back.
When I was 6 years old, I broke my leg. And I was running from my brother and his friends. And tasted the sweet perfume of the mountain grass I rolled down. I was younger then. Take me back to when 15 years old, smoking and rolled cigarettes, running from the law through the backfields and getting drunk with my friends. And my first kiss on a Friday night, I don't reckon that I did it right. I was younger then. Take me back to when country lanes, sitting into tiny dancer, and I miss the way you make me feel. It's real. We watch the sunset over the castle on the hill. When I was 6 years old, I broke my leg. And I was running from my brother.
Skits are up in 1 minute. Please start making your way to your seats. Skits begin in 1 minute.
Tasted the sweet perfume of the mountain grass all rolled down. I was younger then. Take me back to when 15 years old, smoking and rolled cigarettes. Running from the loft to the backfields and getting drunk with my friends. And my first kiss on Friday night, I don't reckon I did it right. I was younger then. Take me back to when I'm on my way, driving at 90 down those country lanes, singing to Tiny Dancer, and I miss the way you make me feel. It's real.
Hello? Oh, yeah, we're on. We're live. Okay, we are the first value in the vision to uncompromised excellence, and we are professionalism. You see the first flag.
has prepared, you know, notes that are very meaningful.
That are on my phone.
Yes.
Professionalism is a big word, and it's got a big meaning. I wrote down some words that describe professionalism, and I just want to share a few of them. It's not all of them. Positive attitude, skilled, competent, expert experience, proficient, efficient, qualified, respectable, civil, integrity, virtuous, responsible, uncompromised, accountable, excellence, adaptable, and conscientious. Often we think of the professionals as the CEOs, the presidents, the city managers, the people that are on the top rung of the organizational chart. But those are titles and positions. These words that I just shared are behaviors and attitudes that encourage us to be all that we can be in our work. Our skit today takes a humorous look at professionalism and the everyday task of our employees. It was written and produced by the combined departments of Human Resources and Recreation and Special Events. And I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Welcome everyone to the Visionometer Game Show, where employees will demonstrate levels of professionalism in Peachtree City. Please welcome my co-host, Savannah White. For our first scenario, we join a facility staff person, a taxpayer, and her son at the park.
Do you work for Peachtree City?
Yeah.
Have you seen what one of your city birds has done to my son?
City bird, ma'am? Really? City bird?
I am a taxpayer, and I would like to know what you are going to do to keep my Elroy safe from this Alfred Hitchcock nightmare.
Well, ma'am, poop happens. Here, kid, have a lollipop.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And scene. How do you think we did on professionalism, folks? Please vote with your claps. We can do better.
Sir, do you work for Peachtree City?
Yes, ma'am. What can I help you with?
Would you look at what one of your city birds has done to my son?
Oh, no. I'm sorry this happened. Let me put this down so I can give you my undivided attention.
Okay.
Here's a napkin for your son.
Thank you.
And explain to me, where exactly did this happen?
Under the trees between All Children's Playground and Drake Field.
Oh, no. Let me do some research and see if I can deter the wildlife from this particular area. In the meantime, let me give you my card, give me your contact, and I'll be in touch and follow up.
Thank you. I really am pleased that you are hearing me out, and I'm really happy to see our tax dollars hard at work.
You're welcome.
So much improvement. Please give this employee a round of applause. Savannah, move that needle.
You got him good.
Let's move on to our last scenario. HR gets a special phone call.
Hello?
Can you repeat that? What can I help you with? I think we have a language barrier. How about this? Please visit me in person at City Hall so I can assist you better. Ask for Linda. I'll be here until 5. Hello?
That's some top-notch service. Savannah, let's move that needle to increase service level. Everyone give yourselves a pat on the back for a job well done.
Exit stage right.
Mr. Worldwide, back at your home. Let's get this thing jumping. Hold up, hold up. 3, 2, 1, let's go now.
Nope. All right, there we go. Hey. All right, I'm up here to introduce our next skit and our next value, which is accountability. And according, if you can see the flags over here, according to our core value statements, we have a statement that characterizes accountability as we will accept and expect personal responsibility for our words, decisions, and actions. Now, everybody can usually get on board with the whole expect part because that's expecting accountability of someone else. The accept part can be a little bit trickier sometimes because that requires finding that responsibility in yourself. And in a professional context, sometimes that means finding responsibilities that you didn't really want to have in the first place, and then finding the responsibility in yourself and the accountability to follow through on that and do it in a way that represents yourself and your organization well. And with that, here's our skit on accountability.
Mr. Worldwide, back at your home. Let's get this thing jumping. Hold up.
What? You know, like 75% of the world is like afraid of doing this, right? You know, like seriously, we've got to stand in front of like people and talk, and they're gonna put me up here.
Hey, Ken, I mean, are you ready to practice the accountability skit?
Kay, do you really have to do this skit? I mean, it's not really my thing. I mean, seriously, look at this face. It's a face for radio, not television.
Come on, Ken. We promised that we would hold each other accountable. Plus, it'll be fun once we get into it.
Really fun? Seriously, fun. This is your idea of fun?
What's going on here?
We're about to practice our accountability skit, and someone here needs a bit of motivational nudge.
It's like a motivational bulldozer. I mean, seriously, like, do they have like that crane thing that comes in with a big ball? Like, pop!
Well, maybe I can help. Accountability is about keeping your word, even when you don't feel like it. So, Ken, think about why you agreed to do this in the first place.
Yeah, like pushing me out of my comfort zone, like into like new events and like trying new things. Yeah, sounds really good. Does it look like I'm having fun?
That's the spirit. See, Jared, he gets it.
Now, Kay, maybe try to understand Ken's perspective too. How about finding a way to make it more engaging for the both of you?
All right, Ken, how about we add a fun twist to the skit? You can improvise your part.
All right, I can improvise. That would be like better.
Exactly. And remember, we're in this together, so let's give it our best shot.
All right, I'm not gonna be like a Broadway star. I'm gonna literally have my notes in my hand because like I'm a cop, not an actor. So, all right, so we could do this skit, right? So we could talk about seat belts, right? So I'll get in the car, I'll close the door, and get there, and I'll put it in gear, and then you can hold me accountable for not wearing my seatbelt, right? Because you're my accountability buddy here.
See, no pressure. It's just a friendly skit.
That's the attitude. You both get this.
Who knew I could have a talent for making people laugh? I guess we can survive this accountability skit together.
Bravo, bravo, both of you.
Bye.
Oh, yeah.
This way?
Hello. Our skit is about teamwork. Teamwork is the art of combining the brilliance of multiple minds to achieve a common goal.
And so our department is executive services and engineering. And while our skit is here to show you that teamwork makes the dream work, it could also be some unforgettable comedy.
So get ready for moments of sheer hilarity as our two teams navigate the treacherous waters of collaboration.
But fear not, for beyond the chaos lies a nugget of wisdom.
And teamwork is not about perfectly synced schedules or flawlessly executed plans, which happen all the time, right? It's about embracing each other's quirks, laughing at absurdity, and understanding that it's not about the destination, but the journey.
That's right. So enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Peachtree City Canoe Competition. Woo! Today we have Team Tranquil in the canoe, come on out, and their competitors, the Chaotic Crew. Welcome to them to the race. And let the race begin.
Paddle left. No, right. Wait, who's steering?
Ah, watch out for toxic algae.
It seems like the Chaotic Crew is, well, living up to their name.
All right, team, let's synchronize our paddles and move forward.
All right, on my mark. Mark.
Team Tranquil, on the other hand, is off to a tranquil start, embracing teamwork and coordination.
Paddle left. No, right. Wait, did we miss the fork?
I'd say we're forked, all right.
Hey, that's not fair. They have stormwater on their team.
And the Chaotic Crew is having quite the struggle with directions.
Team, let's decide which way to go, left or right?
Left, definitely left.
All right, left it is. On my count, 3, 2, 1, left.
Team Tranquil demonstrates how consensus and communication can make the difference in navigation. But how will the Chaotic Crew fare when they encounter an unwelcome visitor?
Watch out, Flat Creek Floyd is circling the boat.
Do you think that guy from Florida can catch it?
We've got this. We've seen bigger teeth on our Facebook comments.
While the Chaotic Crew tries to tame the beast, Team Tranquil is coasting ahead.
Okay, John, remember what we practiced. Slow and steady wins the race.
All right, here we go.
Team Tranquil demonstrates that staying composed and working together can conquer even the wildest rapids.
Yeah, okay. Oops, somebody else.
Okay, Dave, let's straighten up for the finish line.
What do you think I am, an engineer?
The Chaotic Crew crashes within sight of the finish line.
Narf!
And Team Tranquil finishes strong, showing that teamwork and coordination truly lead to success. Let's give a big round of applause to both teams. Congratulations, Team Tranquil, for exhibiting teamwork today.
No, I got it. Ow.
You are entering another dimension. A dimension of honesty and transparency. You've stepped into the world of uncompromised excellence. You've just entered the bubble. Our story begins in a quiet subdivision, peaceful, until...
Oh my word! What is going on over there? Oh my goodness! They're cutting trees!
Hello?
Oh my gosh, Courtney! You'll never guess what I saw.
Yeah, there's a mess out here.
I was outside gardening, and the neighbors are cutting all their trees down. I gotta call Miss Gertie. She'll know what to do.
Yeah, give her a call.
Hello? Miss Gertie, have you looked out your window this morning?
Oh my, what's wrong?
Oh my gosh, the neighbors, they're cutting all their trees down. What are we gonna do?
This just can't happen. Oh no, let me call. I'll get it taken care of right away.
Okay, good.
All right, Sam, clear it all out.
This just can't happen. What are we gonna do about this?
This is crazy. Good morning, Public Works. May I help you?
Oh man, you gotta help us. This is Gertie over on Hippie Lane, and down the street at my neighbor's house, they're cutting down all their trees, all of them, and there's gotta be 50. We need your help right away. And don't remember, I gotta be anonymous now, don't tell nobody.
Absolutely, Miss Gertie. We'll send somebody right out there.
Hurry.
Absolutely.
Okay, slow-mo.
Code enforcement, assemble.
Where's our...
Good afternoon, sir. I am Officer Penny Mitch with Peachtree City Code Enforcement, and these are my fellow workers with me. I got a complaint that you're cutting down some trees, and I do not see a permit for this address.
That's correct. Here at Dishonest Tree Services, we don't have a permit because we're not actually cutting down any trees today. We're just surveying the area.
Hey, boss, we just finished cutting all those trees you wanted.
Well, sir, at this point, you know I'm going to have to issue a stop work order.
Isn't always the easiest thing to do. We just saw residents exaggerate their experience. We just saw a tree company lie to cover up a mistake. And we saw our Peachtree City employees exhibiting a culture of honesty in their everyday duties. Honesty builds trust in each other and trust in local government, and that is really important here in the uncompromised excellence zone.
Come and get what you after. Bring it on like tiki tiki taka. Give it up now faster. I'll give it back at ya. Come and get what you after. Bring it on like tiki tiki taka. Give it up now faster. I'll give it back at ya. Come and get what you after. Bounce with it, drop with it, lean with it, rock with it, snap with it. All my fellas, tip your hats with it. Bounce with it, drop with it, lean with it, rock with it, snap with it. All my fellas, tip your hats with it. Bounce with it, drop with it, bounce with it, drop with it, bounce with it, bounce with it, bounce with it, bounce with it, down with it, drop with it, down with it, drop with it, down with it. All my fellas, tip your hats with it. Bounce with it, drop with it, lean with it, rock with it, snap with it. All my fellas, tip your hats with it. Bounce with it, drop with it, lean with it, rock with it, snap with it. All my fellas, tip your hats with it.
Good morning. All right. I told Jill I was going to change this up and turn this into a musical, but she told me no, so we're not going to do it. So our core value is sustainability, and what that means is we will provide services that assure ongoing organizational, financial, and environmental preservation to meet the needs of the present without compromising the future. Sounds like a mouthful, right? Well, it's not just a fancy sentence that we put on a poster that we hang up in the fire stations or the police stations or over at Public Works or at City Hall. It's one of our guiding principles and our chance to show that we are capable of more than just keeping things going, but that we can maintain this city's operations in an effective and efficient manner. This next skit will prove that our commitment to sustainability is as strong as, ready for this? Andre wrote it, the questionable smells coming from Wassa.
A little dig at Wassa.
Are they here?
Yeah. So we are professional firefighters. We put out real fires. We're supposed to be adept at doing that. But all of us in some point in our jobs put out the metaphorical fires. We're always running around putting out fires. So what does that look like? It's the just fix it attitude, the hey, let's do it ourselves kind of thing. And what does that do? That is unsustainable, it's inefficient, it's not the right way to handle a problem, typically, in an office environment. Having to continually put out these fires makes us look a little unprofessional, and we need to do better.
And sustainability, on the other hand, is like fire prevention, what I do in the fire marshal's office, and that we address the root cause of the problem, trying to figure out why these problems are happening and trying to keep them from happening in the first place. It involves a long-term thinking and finding a permanent solution as opposed to a short-term fix. It's working smarter, not harder. Collaboration is also a key component to finding sustainable solutions, as it helps avoid creating new problems that occur when you implement a short-term, do-it-yourself type fix. These next two scenes, brought to you by the illustrious staff of the Peachtree City Library and some of our fine firefighters, will show how fire prevention, or getting to the root cause of the problem, instead of firefighting, trying to deal with the problems as they happen, is going to be the more sustainable option for our city.
Bounce with it, drop with it, lean with it, rock with it, snap with it. All my fellas, tip your hats with it. Bounce with it, drop with it, lean with it, rock with it, snap with it. All my fellas, tip your hats with it. Bounce with it, drop with it, bounce with it, drop with it, bounce with it, bounce with it, bounce with it, bounce with it.
Hey, I always use this self-checkout computer. It's not giving me a receipt today.
Huh. Excuse me.
It always has.
It sure usually does.
I like having a receipt for the books I check out.
That thing is always acting up. We probably should just get a new one. That's true.
Oh, maybe it's just me. I'm not very lucky.
No, it's always acting up. We're just going to slap it out of order. I'm sorry that happened to you. Have a nice day.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we should call IT. I think so.
Oh.
Okay, this is an example of firefighting. Taking the self-checkout station out of service gets rid of the immediate complaint. But now library patrons are inconvenienced, and the workload of staff at the circulation desk has just increased as the lines at checkout grow longer. Although she does consult with a coworker, neither of them actually inspects the printer. Now IT is involved, putting an additional strain on their resources. One of them even suggested we need to throw money at the problem and buy a new printer. This is not sustainable long term.
Scene two?
Scene two.
Scene two. Oh, may I please have some help? I'm trying to check out here. I usually get a receipt.
Okay, well, first of all, let me go ahead and get you a receipt at my computer.
Oh, thank you.
Here you go, and you have a nice day.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, here's your card.
Oh, yes. Can I have my card?
I don't know. Charisse, do you think you could give me a hand here? Let's figure out what's wrong with this silly thing.
Sure. Is it on?
Yeah, I turned it on.
Okay. Let's check and see if it has some paper in it.
All right. There we go. Yep, there's plenty of paper.
Oh, look. The cable came out.
Again?
So let me unwind it a little bit. It's not enough slack in there.
All right. This is just not working out well here. You think we should contact Jennifer and ask her to come help us and figure out what's going on?
Yeah, I'll send her an email, but that should work for right now.
Yeah, should keep it going.
Hey, Jennifer, this time they found a sustainable solution. They worked together to solve the problem without taking the machine out of service or calling IT. They even took it a step further and found the root of the problem, the cables not having enough slack. And thank you.
Come and get what you after. Bring it on like tiki tiki taka. Give it up now faster. I'll give it back at ya. Come and get what you after. Bring it on like tiki tiki taka. Give it up now faster. I'll give it back at ya. Come and get what you after.
Good afternoon. Morning. I'm Paul Salvatore, the Financial Services Director, amongst other hats I wear. Today we're going to do a little skit. It's an important topic about safety, whether it's protecting people from bad comedy or safeguarding our surroundings.
That's right. We will safeguard our community, people, property. It's not just lip service.
It's our way of saying we're dedicated to keeping things safe around here, even if we occasionally trip over our own shoelaces or stage monitors or cables in the process.
Let's just celebrate safety while creating a future where safety first isn't just a cliche, but a mantra we live by.
Enjoy the skit.
Bring it on like tiki tiki taka. Give it up now faster. I'll give it back at ya. Come and get what you after. Bring it on like tiki tiki taka. Give it up now faster. I'll give it back at ya. Come and get what you after. Bring it on like tiki tiki taka. Give it up now faster. I'll give it back at ya. Get on my way like boom, boom. Do not delay like boom, boom. Do what I say like I say, come and play. Come and get what you after. Bring it on like tiki tiki taka. Give it up now faster. I'll give it back at ya. Come and get what you after. Bring it on like tiki tiki taka. Give it up now faster. I'll give it back at ya. Come and get what you after. Bring it on like tiki tiki taka. Give it up now faster. I'll give it back at ya. Get on my way like boom, boom. Do not delay like boom, boom. Do what I say like I say, come and play.
Oh, you're supposed to be off stage. You're right.
Oh, wait, we're supposed to go get behind. We're supposed to be outside. Come on. Let's go.
Hold on.
Come on.
1 second.
Peachtree City edition of Family Feud. Dustin, Bria, are you ready?
Yes.
Ready.
Ready, Steve.
We surveyed 100 Peachtree City citizens. The top answers are on the board. How does Peachtree City government safeguard our community, people, and property?
Boom.
The city provides safety to the people by having enough trained staff in police, fire, and the Public Works Department to respond to natural disasters or accidents.
Yes, yes. Survey says first responders. Bria, do you want to play or pass?
We'll play.
Yes. Yeah, we'll play. Good morning, Ellen.
Morning.
Ellen, how does Peachtree City government safeguard our community, people, and property?
They created a bubble.
Yes.
Good answer. Good answer.
Great answer.
Not real.
Says,
It's not real.
That's okay.
That's okay. I thought it was bubble too.
Ashley, good morning.
Good morning.
How does Peachtree City government safeguard our community, people, and property?
Ooh, the city has developed and they maintain multi-use pass system for the community to use.
Survey says yeah! Go!
Yes.
Got this. So excited. Josh. Josh, how does Peachtree City government safeguard our community, our people, and property?
You got this. Josh, you got this.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's okay.
No.
Bria.
Yes.
Bria, 2 strikes on your team. If you get this wrong, the other team can steal. Bria, how does Peachtree City government safeguard our community, people, and property?
Can we get a Trader Joe's?
Yes.
Yes.
Survey
We could get it
says
It's okay. They're not going to get it anyway.
Dustin.
No.
Dustin, this is for the steal. Dustin, how does Peachtree City government safeguard our community, our people, and property?
All city departments work together to protect and maintain the properties of the city. Steve!
For the steal!
Woo!
Survey says
No, this is rigged.
Where's the music board?
Departments working together. Let's see the other answers on the board.
Budgeting.
Vetted employees. Enforcing laws and ordinances.
IT protection.
Let me take a selfie.
Let's give a big round of applause for everybody who participated in those skits.
I don't know about you, but I'm pretty partial to that safety one.
Honestly, I don't care.
Honestly. All right, so our esteemed judges, Bob and Justin, are deliberating as we speak and determining the winning skit. And let's see, once we hear that they have a winner, we're going to bring them back up, as well as the winning team, get photos, and somewhere around here, we have those beautiful awards that are going to be given out, one for each department in the skit.
Yes, and we'll ask that the whole team come up for a nice picture with Bob and Justin, and maybe me and Bree as well. If you want us
Absolutely,
to
we are
know.
totally available for that.
Yep. And afterwards, we'll end the event with Bob coming in to close us out to the event, and we have lunch, which is, I believe, is upstairs, right?
Yeah, it's from Chick-fil-A.
So hopefully we'll have the
So-
judges soon. So I don't know what God want to sing for us, Bree?
I'm going to pass on that.
Why not? I heard you have a great singing voice. I heard you also play the piano at church, right?
I do play the piano on occasion, yeah.
Oh.
But I don't have one today. So
Give us a nice little tune.
how about some improv?
No, absolutely not.
No, not today.
Nope.
Let's see. Well, give us just a moment. Right. All right, at this time, we would like to welcome back our esteemed judges, our city manager, Mr. Bob Kernow, and our assistant city manager, Mr. Justin Strickland. Let's give them a nice, warm welcome and applause.
But first, let me take a selfie.
Thank you again. That was, let's have a round of applause for all of our skits, all of our contestants. I'm sorry, we have some trophies that we're going to give out for the winners, but we do not have participation trophies. So it's a winner take all here for this situation. So I know, I'm sorry. So Justin, do you want to go ahead and make the announcement?
Yeah, so we have 2 trophies for the 2 winning departments. And does anybody want to do a drum roll?
Drum roll, drum roll.
The winning department, or winning departments, is the skit that did professionalism, recreation, and human resources.
All right. But you can only claim the trophy if you bring the angry bird back up here. So.
Yeah. Y'all come up. Y'all come up. Y'all come up.
Come on up. We have Savannah. Come on up here, stand in the middle. Here's your award.
And we got to give one to HR. Oh, here we go. Here you go, Bob.
All right, here we go. This is a coveted trophy that I hope you all will display in your trophy cases back at your departments. But I want to congratulate you. It says PATHS at the top, which is on the flags over there, and it says the 2023 Vision and Values Team Building Event, winning department, City of Peachtree City. So congratulations. Excellent, excellent. Any speeches?
Yeah,
you guys want to say anything? Professionalism, speech?
We trained for this.
Where's the bird? Yeah. Yeah. Trilith is right down there if you all are interested in, an acting
Yeah,
career.
got some
I hear there's a
actors.
strike, but outside of that, you should be fine. So thank you very much. One more round of applause, please. Thank you. Thank you. Great job. Great job, professionalism. Anybody with me? This is not scripted, by the way. This is for Bria. All right, I promised I would do that before I came back out, so. I got it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm getting some side judge here that said stop dancing and be a city manager, so I think I'll take that advice. But again, I just wanted to thank everybody for being here. This is a great opportunity. All the skits were great. I really appreciate the participation. I think, the camaraderie and the team development and the relationship building between the departments has been fantastic. We get to laugh at each other. If you know me, you know that I like to have a good time. I mean, if not, I wouldn't have created a workplace chat group called I Love Cats. I don't actually love cats. I'm allergic to them, but I thought it was funny when we were putting this thing together and we needed to get some participation rolling. And they said, what do you want to create? And I said, I know. How about I love cats? And then it kind of took off from there. So that whole process of culture building and teamwork building for me is so important. And that environment, that workplace environment, whether you've been on it before, haven't been on it yet, are interested in getting on, I want to keep it culture related. I don't want to keep it business related. I want people to get on there and talk about their hobbies and the fun things that they do over the weekend and just have a good time. Within reason, obviously. Okay, so you guys over here, just be careful. But at the end of the day, I just want everybody to really, participate, enjoy themselves, laugh at yourselves, laugh at me, within reason. And then, no tasing. And then at the end of the day, we have an opportunity to build relationships and build bonds that are everlasting. And that is extremely important to me. Before I say what I'm going to say, I'd like to call out one special person. Hannah, where are you? Come on, Hannah. I would like to give a huge, come over here. Nope, you're not getting away from this. Come over here. I would like to give a huge shout out to Hannah. Hannah and a couple of folks last night, but primarily Hannah working on this entire event all by herself. We had a lot of help. We had a lot of, team participation. But from the logistics and the stage management and the food and getting the audio visual and building the props, they were here till like 10:30 last night building all of the last minute details. And I could not ask for a better executive assistant to help me get things across as far as city is concerned. And I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all that work. So, boss. Yeah. And I know Jasmine was here, and Jasmine had a lot to do with it, and Justin was here, and he had a lot to do with it as well. But at the end of the day, it's that collaborative process, and that's the dedication. I mean, last night when I left the council meeting and I walked out and Hannah was still in her office putting balloons in this vision thing, it was just amazing to see that she was so into putting on an event that was going to be meaningful for all of us. So again, thank you so much for being here and participating and putting up with the little skits and the little intricacies of, we move on to the next step now? Yes, I think those things are all good. Have a good time. Have a great day today. Be safe out there. Enjoy your Friday, and more importantly, enjoy your weekend if you get to have that opportunity off. Spend time with your family, and thank you again. Food will be served upstairs, so if anybody's interested in food, obviously please grab something. We have some food up at the top. Enjoy.